Topeka is the capital of Kansas, and Heartland Park Topeka is a hub for car lovers. From a state-of-the-art quarter mile to a pit area packed with automotive eye candy, it's a site of the next stop on the Menards Chevy Show Tour. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Menards Chevy Show. This time coming to you from Heartland Park, Topeka, on the windswept plains of eastern Kansas, just a few miles outside of the capital city. Well, this time around, we've got an amazing array of Midwestern machinery that indeed you'll find pretty incredible. All types, all varieties, all colors. Let's start things off with our first winner. The Gunk Tough and Trusted Award here in Heartland Park, Topeka goes to Dean Kozad and his impressive 1961 Bubble Top Impala. The early model Chevrolets are always crowd favorites, but every time we get to see a 61 Bubble Top, we stop and take a look. This man has put together an amazing piece that I swear doesn't even look like it's been restored. How much work went into this car?
It was a pretty original body that was rust-free when I got it.
Wow.
And it's had a repaint now, get rid of lacquer paint. It's base coat, clear coat now. I found it right here in Topeka, Kansas, after looking all over the United States for 5 years for a quote-unquote rust-free show car ready to go. And the guy here had two of them, and this one was a 283 Powerglide car, and he wouldn't sell it. 7 years later, I finally talked him into selling it to me. It's mostly an original car. I restored cars all my life. I'm sick of weld and rust, and this was a rust-free car.
What's your favorite part of the 61? Obviously, you've got to be a diehard 61 lover to get into these cars.
You know, I used to think they were ugly, and then they kind of grew on me because they have character.
They are magnificent pieces just because they're seldom seen. You get to appreciate a completely different body style approach for Chevrolet between the 57s and the 63s and 4s. And they're very popular cars.
They are, and I'm old school, so I have the 348 in it now. But underneath, I have a Art Car built 204 transmission in it, which is very strong.
Right.
I have an Eaton Positive traction in the old case.
Wow.
So it is stronger than it was in the factory.
It does not look like a trailer queen in any way, shape, or form.
It's not. It is a driver. It's a driver quality, and I enjoy really driving it.
Congratulations to Dean Kozad for capturing the Gunk Tough and Trusted Award here in Topeka. Let's take a look at our first producer's pick. This was one of the most popular and prevalent versions of the Chevy wagon when it came out. I mean, all of them have a story. What's the story behind this one?
Well, this one I found in Yakima, Washington. The car was semi-done when I got it, but I had to put a lot of finishing touches on it, to say the least. The car, I was told, was used by an electrician back in the day, and it had ladders on top and things in the back, so it was a utility vehicle. Dad had one, and I inherited it for high school and college. I drove it for probably 7 or 8 years.
It wasn't a wagon, was it?
No, it was just a four-door sedan,
Gotcha.
a 265 Powerglide. It was that god-awful yellow and green color that came out in those particular years, and it was ugly to say the least, but it got me around. When I retired, I told the wife I want one more car before I forget where I put my tools. You know, so
There has to be a story of that, what appears to be half-century old cooler in the back.
that was my dad's cooler in his '56 Chevy that I drove to high school and college. He used to take that to work. He ate his lunch out of that for years and years.
There's nothing better than a nice but nasty Nova, such as Jim Lippert's 1967 model, that is the winner of the Moonshine Sweet Tea Sweet Ride Award here in Kansas. Jim, your Nova is absolutely the epitome of execution and design. Some genius had to be behind it. I'm not sure if it was you.
It wasn't me. I just paid the bill.
Well, who'd you write the check to, my friend?
Bright Build Hot Rods out of Salina, Kansas.
Where did this one come from?
This came out of Coffeyville, Kansas about 30 years ago. Just kept it around as a beater and hit a deer with it one day. And then it was time to say, this might be one we want to do a resto mod on.
That's one of the more unusual background stories we've ever heard. I hit a deer one day and decided it was time to...
Two of them. So the front of the car was gone.
Now the trunk looks like it has all kinds of secret hidden compartments and stuff back there. What's going on?
Electronics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Stereo and ride height and all that
Satellite. Satellite.
stuff? Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Place for junk behind that big one in the middle. That's just a place to put your rags and stuff. Batteries back there. Electric door, electric trunk. Batteries back there. The battery goes dead. You got problems. A secret's behind the left tail light that opens up. That's where the cable that opens up the trunk or the left door when the battery goes dead.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. In wintertime, we do indoor shows. Goes up in there with the lights and the mirrors under, and it's got lots of bling. It bounces off all the walls, I'll tell you.
What's your favorite part of this car?
I like that motor, that LS9, 638 horsepower. I've never turned it loose. I'm scared of it. The tires start spinning at 60 miles an hour, and I say, whoa, 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 whoa.
You know what's funny is you're talking about driving this thing. A lot of people would never believe that you put this on the road.
Not very far, but we do enough just to play
I was
with
going
it.
to say it's enough to play with it, exactly.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's what it's built for.
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations to Jim Lippert in his 1967 Nova for winning the Moonshine Sweet Ride Sweet Tea Award here at Heartland Park. Stay with us for more of the Menards Chevy Show, because when we return to Topeka, we'll turn the Wayback Machine all the way to 1938.
The Menards Chevy Show is being brought to you by Z-Max, the one product for your engine, transmission, and fuel system. Evapo-Rust, super safe rust remover. Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Menards Chevy Show here at Heartland Park in Topeka, Kansas. How about a 1950 Chevy sedan delivery? This is George and Jean Bursler's version with a small block Corvette engine, baby moon disc hubcaps on chrome reverse wheels. But if you think that's cool, take a look at what's parked next to it. It's one of our producers' picks. Nick, the big-bodied classics are some of the best crowd favorites out there. 38 Master Deluxe.
This was totally blown apart and totally in pieces.
No kidding.
I didn't have a motor, rear end, transmission. The body was not even on the frame.
Really? Where'd you find it?
East of Arkansas City, Kansas. It was in a field. Somebody had started to make a drag car out of it and totally blew it all apart, and then decided they didn't want to and just left it out there. My wife wanted a project that we could both work on.
Really?
Yep, and she did half the car and I did half the car, basically.
Which half went to who?
Well, as she says, you tell me which one it is.
Okay.
There's car shows like this that helps people like me and my wife build cars like this, because we get ideas, we talk to people, and you never go to a car show where people don't want to share their knowledge that they have, you know, to pass it on. So that's how you can do something like this.
Keeping up with our theme of Chevys from the 30s, the winner of the LMC Truck Life Award is Steve Flanders in his perfect 1938 pickup. The judges always manage to find some absolutely amazing pickups, but this time around, we've got one that's truly stunning. There's so many aspects to this truck that are amazing, I don't know where to begin. The hood.
It was my friend Gary back there. He decided to put them in there because we always had overheating problems with it. Actually 3-inch exhaust tubing, and then it's got like chrome shower drains on the inside of it with bullets in them.
Shower drains. I have to say, the paint shows off every aspect of this truck, whether it's under the hood or not. Who did it?
Gary and I.
Good old Gary.
Friend of mine, yeah.
Gary's a pretty good friend to have,
yeah,
I think.
He's a pretty good friend. The trunk we found at a swap meet last year, and it's like off a 30 models car of some kind, and we just redid it and put it in the back of the truck. It's actually sunken in the floor 5 inches. It goes below the floor.
Are the running boards all original and everything like this? I don't see any modifications to the dimensions of any panel.
No, they're the original. They're not original, but the original type. They're reproductions. Wheels are Traeger 390s, which there's not a lot of them around here, so I wanted to get something different.
All right, let's go to the actual drivetrain.
It's a GM 350 crate motor, a 700 R4, and it's got a S10 Blazer disc brake rear end underneath it.
Oh, good. What's your favorite part of this ride?
The way it rides and drives. It's got an S10 frame underneath it.
No air suspension or anything?
No air, just sets on regular springs.
Well, like I said, the judges always managed to find a beauty, but this time they outdid themselves. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it came out like I wanted it to, so we was real happy with it.
Congratulations to Steve Flanders and his 1938 pickup for winning the LMC Truck Life Award here in Topeka. There's more of the Menards Chevy Show still to come, including a couple of Camaros that turn some heads here in Topeka. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Menards Chevy Show, coming to you from sprawling Heartland Park, Topeka. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. This is probably a first, the first time we've ever shown a Dodge on the Menards Chevy TV show. This is an all-steel replication by Jim Rodabaugh out of Oklahoma of the original fiberglass Charger prototype concept car that was built in 1965 by the Dodge Corporation. Now, what does that have to do with the Menards Chevy Show? Well, simple. The designers of the front end of the original Dodge Fastback used this design for the prototype, but then left and went to the Chevrolet factory and used it on the car that would become 1 year later the Monte Carlo. Let's check out one of our producers' picks. Travis's car has a completely different look than any other car in this show. It's actually reminiscent of the Canyon racers of the late 1970s. It's not a weakling.
No, it's not. It runs really well.
Who put it together?
I did.
The motor, I'm talking.
Build everything myself. Yes, it has a removable rear roll bar so you can ride in the back seat. Not a whole lot of room back there, but it is able to be used.
Yeah, plus you can put the bar back in front of the people and they'll never get
Yes.
out.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Were you looking for a T-top car when you found this thing?
No, I was not. I was just going to look for a Camaro, and I come across this one, which has had a newer roof put on it, but they did such a nice job. I left it alone. And
Yeah, we need to make it clear to the viewer, there was no such thing as a T-top 70.5.
there was not. No. We've been several times out of state, drive it quite a bit. I've put over 13,000 miles on it in the last couple of years.
Have you ever ran it, drag racing?
I did some autocross with it. Is
Oh,
all I
cool.
did. Yeah.
A slightly older Camaro owned by Dwayne Scardina is the winner of the Duracell Crank It with the Copper Top Award here today in Topeka. This car is absolutely magnificent, but there are so many things that people don't even realize that they've never seen on a 67 Camaro like this. Where does the list start?
Well, it's just a stock Camaro. I'm big into stock. It's not an RS, it's not an SS, it's just your two-door sport coupe, and that's what I like, just a nice clean car. This was built in November of '66. It does have the 327, 210, like you say, it's got the 2-barrel on it. So it does have the lower horsepower, but it'll still get up and go.
In what condition did you get this thing?
When I got it, it was a good driver. You know, I took it to car shows on wet days. You know, I wasn't afraid to drive it then. In fact, my kids drove it to school in high school. My wife would occasionally take it to work if the main car was broke down or something. So it was a really nice driver. And once I started getting into it and we started restoring it, I found out, well, it's a nice driver, but it needed a lot of work.
Anything truly specifically rare about this car? It has some unusual interior lighting.
Yeah, now that was a option, you know, depending on what package you got with the car, where it's got the trunk light, it's got the underhood light, does have the bright pedals and things like that on it. So,
No real problems with the electrical system during restoration?
not really. We did some wiring replacement. We put the Duracell battery in it, which is, you know, a nice battery that we like to use. So, no, it was. You know, like I say, we had our issues. I did as much of the work as I could possibly do, tearing down and things like that. Had a friend where we freshened up the motor. The motor was in pretty good shape, so we didn't have to do a whole lot about it.
Did you check the VIN to see if it was a 2-barrel 327? How did you come up with the combination?
Well, with the VIN tag, we were able to find
really?
that, and the cow tag, we were able to find it. Yes, it is correct. It is correct.
Dwayne Scardina is certainly proud of his rare Camaro, and they are certainly deserving of the Duracell Crank It with the Copper Top Award. Don't go anywhere, because when the Menards Chevy Show comes back to Heartland Park, Topeka, we'll be talking Chevelles. Stay with us.
Menards Chevy Show is being brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. Clamp Tight, the clamp making tool. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. And by Gen Y Hitch, towing made easy.
Welcome back, everybody, to Heartland Park, Topeka. You know, Art Brandt's fabulous supercharged Chevy-powered 1948 Anglia is a great lead-in to talk about this magnificent facility. Yes, it has a full championship road course, but a lot of people also know this facility as the host of a National Hot Rod Association Championship National event. Let's find out a little bit more about Heartland Park. Jake, this facility has a schedule that's pretty much unequaled in motorsports. You've got the drag strip, you've got the road course, you've got the oval track, tractor pulls. Is there anything that this place doesn't host?
Not that we figured out yet. We added a motocross track this year too, so we've even got two wheels going on. We host autocross events, drift events, police motorcycle riding schools, you name it, we do it, having a big open asphalt area as well. There's some stuff that we're working on for 2018 that we're not ready to let out of the bag yet. We're trying to really grow it being a family-friendly venue. Some things may be a little less race-oriented than others, just a way to get the community involved and keep everybody out here at Heartland Park, Topeka.
Time now for a trio of Chevelles, starting with our Rock Auto Restored Award winner, a gorgeous 1970 SS. Chevelles come and Chevelles go, but here on the Menards Chevy Show, we bring you nothing but the wildest of all the Chevelles. And you need to take an up-close look at this beast. Where in the world did you find this thing?
I bought this car in '69. I'm the original owner.
Really?
Yes, I am.
Now, at what point did you decide, okay, it's time to take my car that I bought 50 years ago and turn it into something like this?
Well, I just wanted to make it, a different, a muscle car, and I just had it ever since,
He found me at a car show.
Oh, really?
And that's what I do is build these cars. He says my car needs an engine, needs completely redone. So we called Rock Auto, we ordered a bunch of parts, and I ended up putting in a new 454. Since we drove it with 4-speed for several years, decided to run it a little bit more with on the highway, so I put in an overdrive, 700 R4 overdrive. I put in air conditioning, we've redone the suspension, just anything, everything, and it's just top-notch, ready to go.
What was the most difficult part in the restoration of this car for you?
Installed the air conditioning and getting the air conditioning vents in the dash like the factory.
I'm going to guess this was not an original air-conditioned car.
No, this was just a plain car without air. It's a comfortable cruiser and the show winner.
Now, earlier you heard builder John explain that the most difficult aspect of creating this machine was the air conditioning system. Well, if you look closely, you're probably scratching your head. We defy you to find the air conditioning system in this car, either under the hood or even in the dash. It's just one of the things that makes this car unreal. Congratulations to Frank and John for creating a Chevelle that truly deserves the Rock Auto Restored Award. Now for another Chevelle, a 1967 convertible that is our next producer's pick.
This car was originally a gold car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was gold outside, gold inside. I didn't like the 67 color of gold on the outside, so I made it a black car.
How long have you had the car?
34 years.
Wow. So 1983 is when you found it?
Yep.
Where?
Here in Topeka.
Oh,
Actually, I found it about 3 blocks from where I live. It was it was brown at the time. It was a mess. I had a lot of body putty in it and some rust here and there, and it was a true super sport car.
So it was a 396 car.
396, 138 car, which makes it a true super sport car. And I just figured over time we could make it a nice car. Replace what needed to be replaced, and everything else we cleaned up. Like some of the stainless steel back when I was doing the car, you couldn't get it.
What's your favorite part of the car?
I guess I like it all, but
nothing wrong with that.
I don't have any pieces apart. I just like it all.
The last of our hat trick of Chevelles is a black beauty owned by Gary McArdle that has captured the OPGI Original Award. One look at Gary McArdle's Chevelle and even I can't come up with the words. The fenders and the vinyl roof and the tires, I think, are the only thing that aren't chrome on this car.
That is correct.
All right, let's start. The only thing I can see that is not chromed is the engine block, the firewall, and the fenders.
That is true.
Every other thing.
I love the chrome. It's kind of my own personal detailing in there. The items that are plastic, I've had plastic chrome.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, sir. And as you see on the battery cables, the box there, there's actually plastic chrome, different colors. One's red and one's black.
Now, the one thing that everybody stares at is the grill.
I had that custom made out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I come up kind of with the idea. It's brought special. Then I did the headlights, which are the Oracle headlights that do multi-colors. And it's kind of just put a unique custom look on the front end.
Absolutely stunning interior because it's so subtle compared to the rest of the car.
I had it special made. It's TMI interior, and it has the white stitching that matches the outside. I had a suede effect put in it, and I just kind of made the car different. Matter of fact, if you look around on the car, on the SS emblems and decals, there's probably about 65 of them on the car. They're just so located in different spots that you just don't notice so many of them on there. I love building the gold car. I love the comments that everybody gives. I love to go to the small shows out in western Kansas, but I love the big shows as well. They're a lot of fun. It's the people that give us the compliments is reason why we build these cars and why we show them.
Congratulations to Gary McArdle and his 1970 Chevelle SS on winning the OPGI Original Award here today at Heartland Park. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for this edition of the Menards Chevy Show. Indeed, next time, you'll be seeing us from St. Louis, Missouri at Gateway Motorsports Park for another fantastic group of Midwestern bow tie stormers. Until then, thanks for being with us.